Hey guys, and welcome to episode 145 of Meeple to Meeple. It is episode 2 of my new content creator series, as always, building community with everyone across the world. Today, I have joining me for a conversation is an individual who's not only known as being a phenomenal board game content creator, but she's probably more known for her powerful creativity, her crafting skills, and more importantly, her cosplay. Today, I have Rachel from Miss Kitty Cosplay. Rachel, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing great. Thank you for having
Yeah,
me on today.
thanks for joining. I guess I should also mention that you are the social media community manager extraordinaire of Queen Games.
Yes, I do all of their content creation and,
Yeah.
and all that jazz.
So you manage your own creation and Queens. That
A lot
is
of
some
times
crazy.
they are intertwined. I do share a lot of Queen stuff on my personal page just because if I'm in it, I might as
Yeah.
well.
You got to put yourself out there, right?
Yeah, yeah. And we needed to put a face on some of our stuff. You only want to look at board game pieces for so long. You need to know who you're talking to. The community wants to like feel the human aspect of it and know that they're not
It's
just getting a
true.
bot response. Hey, it's me. Please be nice.
Yes. That is absolutely true, right? That trend happened. I think it was post COVID when that happened. You'd start people,
Absolutely.
they would take a picture with the box and then they would take pictures of the game components, right? Yeah, I remember when that happened. So let me ask you this starting question. What was the first board game that you ever played as a child?
As a child,
Yeah.
that would be the Pokemon board game that came out in like 2000, 2001.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And do you still play Pokemon stuff
No,
regularly? No.
I
Okay.
love Pokemon. I love
Yeah.
the whole franchise. It is near and dear to my heart. I was a Pokemon card collector in kindergarten. That was my jam. I've got lots of Pokemon plushies and all the fun stuff. But no, I don't play the games.
So what about what was the game that got you into what we call the modern game hobby, right?
Copenhagen is the
Really?
yeah. So that is a Queen game.
Yep.
Not a coincidence there. And it's the polyomino tiles, and you're building the facade on the front of the buildings. It's a really really lightweight game, and that is what got me into this world.
Copenhagen. So, what was it about that particular game in out of all of, I mean, yeah, of course, all board games, but all of Queen's collection? Like, how did you get introduced to Copenhagen?
Honestly, Travis
Yeah.
Reynolds put it in front of me and told me to learn it because it was one of the easier ones. I had
Okay.
been I am into cosplay, and cosplay is what got me into the conventions, and then the
Yeah.
convention got me an opportunity. I was asked to demo some games at the Queen booth. I'd never been to Origins Game Fair before, and I had no idea what I was getting into. And I was like, okay, well, give me the easiest game possible because I'm nervous about teaching other people. And they put Copenhagen in front of me. It had just come out. I was obsessed
Mm.
with the polyomino tiles. I played the deluxe edition with the acrylic ones. You could hold the windows up and see through them. It was gorgeous. It
You got
was
spoiled.
yeah, I did, and it was addicting. And I was on such a roll. I mean, it was like I had this like gaming high from explaining it. I had gotten my little pitch together on how to work through it. I made a script for myself, and I could get through that game and have tables turning every couple minutes. I got really good at it. And then I was like, maybe I like board games. I want to play more. And that was really like the first modern like hobby game I had played.
Yeah.
I played some things growing up like Monopoly and even Risk and stuff like that, but we don't have a gaming community here. I live in a very rural Appalachian area where we don't have game stores and that kind of thing. Lately, we have been getting some trading card shops, which is amazing just to
Okay.
see something,
Yeah.
but there's still nothing actually near me.
Mm.
I have to drive a couple hours to get to somebody who is willing to play a game with me, and I'll do it. But Copenhagen was my introduction to this community, and it has really like changed my life for the better.
So that was Origins. What year was that? Do you recall?
I'm gonna say 2018
Okay. Okay.
because I was demoing with Queen for a year or two before the pandemic hit,
Okay.
because then we had
So
the shutdown.
so my question is, so it's 2018, you have fallen in love with Copenhagen and the concept of tabletop board gaming. So you go back home. What next? What, like, did you
You got to
decide
get on the
to,
internet and like
right?
learn what else is out there. You've got to meet other
Yeah.
people that are into the same thing, because I don't just dilly dally with a hobby. If I'm going to do it, I'm going
Huh.
all the way in.
All in.
So it is, I want to buy all the games. I want to play everything I can get my hands on.
Okay.
And the first thing I did was like start looking up board game hashtags on Instagram and watching
Yeah.
YouTube videos and following
Okay.
people, trying to figure out like, well, if this is good, what else is out there? What is similar to this? Maybe I want to go a step harder.
Yeah. So you didn't just like decide to go through the whole line of the product line of Queen Games. You embrace the
Everywhere.
whole industry.
Yeah, and I love Queen games, but I didn't want to limit
Yeah.
myself to one thing. And with Queen,
Right.
it's not like all of the games in their catalog are the same.
Right.
You know, they're very, very drastically different designers and that kind of thing. So I wanted to just taste a little from every company. And so I have a really decent sized collection now. I say decent sized because, you know, there's people out there with more in our community, but I have a lot of games and I've played even more games.
So what kind of challenges were them? I mean, obviously the fact that there's no one around, like I'm just trying to wonder how you manage to, if you have no one to play with, because you said you're in a rural area where there's no one around. I mean, are you just driving 2 hours just in all directions where people live as close to you, or are people coming to you? Did you only play games in person at conventions for a year or two? How did that look? What did that look like?
I actually started a local board game club. So there's a barcade, there's a bar arcade here locally that opened up at Pullman in Huntington, Pullman Square in Huntington, West Virginia, and I started hosting board game nights there. So I was really into pinball and some of the antique like arcade cabinets. I was like
Yeah.
always in there anyways because I love gaming just in general, any kind of gaming. It's not just board games for me, but I was in there all the time, and I was like, I'm gonna start bringing in board games, and then people would sit with me, and then we made it a thing where they actually like hired me to host their game nights. And when I say hired, they just gave me like a free bar tab. And I
Right.
was like, yeah, I'll bring my
Yeah.
friends to play some games. So then we would meet there
Absolutely.
on Friday nights for free drinks to play
Sure.
games. But it got to the point where I was also running Friday night board games, Tuesday night D&D, where I was teaching different games of D&D. We had kids playing, we had adults that were wanting to learn, and we had like so much going on. And I did that for several years. And even through the pandemic, we ended up making a Discord server and still meeting with some of these people. Actually, some of them have moved pretty far away, and we still communicate about the campaign we were in, just to like keep in touch with everything and like check up on each other's families and that sort of thing. I didn't want to just play at conventions. I wanted to get as much
Right.
gaming in as physically possible.
Right.
Tabletop simulator's fine, but it's
Yep.
not the same. I crave that social aspect of sitting at a table with somebody. No
Yes.
phones, no computers. We don't text while we're playing a game. You know, I'm like, let's communicate. Let's actually sit here and get this game going. I want to figure it out. I do travel a good bit to play games. I do drive. It's usually 2 hours, and but it's worth it because a lot of us will get together and we'll make a whole day of it, if not a weekend. Several times this summer, I've actually camped, and it's all of my gaming buddies, and we will camp and we will just play games as much as we possibly can.
I love that. So that's really similar to most of our friends in the UK. They'll do that. They'll have like one day, but because the UK is so much smaller, they can all get together for a single day. Someone will rent a hall, like a scouting hall or something in their area, and they'll just have like a one day gaming convention where they all get to hang out. Unfortunately, the United States is just too big. We can't do that. You and I are good 15-hour drive apart.
Yeah, it's
Um,
ridiculous how far everything is. And that's what I was trying to explain to someone the other day when they're like, oh, but there's a game shop. And I'm like, just because it's in my state doesn't mean I can get to it. Like, that's a 2 day trip for me because I'm going to have to stay the night before I drive back.
right. Oh, yeah, that's
It's
crazy.
a we're just so spread out, and especially around here with all the mountains, it
Sure.
takes forever to get through things.
Right. So, what is your favorite color that you enjoy playing?
Green is my
Green.
preferred.
Okay.
If purple is an option, I would like to take that, but it's not
Okay.
always an
Okay.
option.
Okay. Do you have a third one in case either of those are not available?
Blue. I
Blue.
hate
Okay.
yellow. I hate it. Like, cannot explain it. I just
Okay.
beef with the yellow. I don't like it.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on past yellow, guys. So you started off, you fell in love with the polyomino mechanic. Is that still your favorite game mechanic?
Probably. I can't even
Yeah.
help myself. Yeah,
No, it's great.
it's so cool. I like the tactileness of having actual tiles.
Right.
Um, in a board game, I want to be able to touch the pieces. I'm not into like deck building as much and that sort of thing. I want to touch pieces of things, even like miniature games. I'm very
Oh
into
yeah.
miniatures.
Okay.
I like being able to move my pieces around. So being able to like lay tiles is a really fun mechanic.
So it's kind of cross between polyomino and tile laying slash placement. Yeah. Yeah. I get
It's
that.
interactive, it's fun, and it's very satisfying because it's like you're instantly getting that gratification of placing your piece.
Yes.
Ta-da! I get a point.
So I feel this way. I don't know if you do. So playing a tile placement laying game, let's say Carcassonne, just a great example. There are more guys I know, but for the purposes of my question to you, so it drives me nuts when there's a vacuum. I don't like holes in my maps, right? Like I will sometimes play a tile that's not advantageous to me just so that I can have the map look filled in. Do you experience that as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I recently was playing a game where you're laying polyominoes, big shock, and it was one where you're building up actually on layers on top of each other. And in the rules, it states that you do not have to complete a layer to move up to the next layer. But I
Oh.
can't do that.
Uh-uh.
I want to complete them. And it's not always the best option to complete them because the higher up you move, the earlier
Right.
you score.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I can't. I want to. I'm a completionist.
I get that. I totally understand that. Speaking of Queen Games, Dabawala is a perfect
That's
example. Was
yeah,
that what you were
yeah,
playing?
yeah. I've just got all these Queen games.
Well, sure. Yeah. But is Copenhagen still your favorite in the
Yeah,
product line from
yeah.
Queen? Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't I don't know that. I'm going to be honest. I have my favorite Queen game is not it's a great game. I love playing it, but I think it has more to do with nostalgia that's connected to it, and that's Aqua Romana. That's an
Really.
yeah, that's an
I've
old
never
guys,
even played that one.
that's an old one. So there's two reasons why. One, when my wife and I got married, she had already owned it, so she taught it to me. And it's also set in the ancient Roman world because you're building the aqueducts in the city of Rome. So that appealed to both my wife and I as we were studying classics and Roman history. And it's just like, yeah, I could play Aqua Romana anytime. It's tile placement because you're laying tiles to get the water in the aqueducts to go. Yeah, Aqua Romana is probably my favorite Queen game, and it's more likely about my relationship with my wife than it is a reflection of how great that theme and mechanic is for that game.
Isn't it wonderful how we can put these feelings into a game based on like the memories that we've made around them? There are certain games
Yeah,
that I love, I know I absolutely cherish because of who I've played them with or where I've
yeah,
played them. I took this to this game night and this happened there. And now it has a very special place where it is
yeah.
face out on my shelf and I get to look at it and have happy memories.
Yes. Yes, that is absolutely one of my favorite things about this hobby and this community. I mean, it's interesting. So we were talking about Dabawala. So I met you at Origins 24. I had just finished, my wife and I had just finished, we had signed up for an event to learn to play Dabawala. And we were like, we're buying it. Like
It's what we
signed,
want.
sealed, delivered. It's done. Now it's in. Yeah, we lean on Queen Games because it was early in our relationship, right? So whenever Queen comes out with a new game, we're immediately like, oh. we must check it out. Now, this is true any product line, right? It's just the reality of when you make products. Not all Queen games are created equally. Not all of them just hit, sing and touch my soul. But still, whenever Queen comes out with a game, we gravitate right away, So yeah. So thanks, Queen Games. Thanks
We
for that.
want that. It's awesome to
Yes.
hear that. And
Right?
I feel the same way about Queen because it was such an early experience for me in the hobby. They gave me this opportunity to demo with them, and I've never left. They can't get rid of me.
They
And
might want to.
they can try. I've not left yet.
So, do you have a favorite game of all time or just a favorite game right now that you're hitting your table constantly? I do too. And it's a hard question,
I
which is
almost want to
why
say a game that I've not
yeah.
even played yet. Okay, but it's on my table right now.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
like it's a weird one because it's not a traditional board game.
Okay.
There's a whole lot of like deduction and stuff to it, and it's very
Okay.
social interaction. It is the Mother of Frankenstein, the Mary Shelley game
Yeah. Yeah.
by Arcane Wonders.
Huh?
So I have volume 1, 2, and 3 on my table currently, and
Okay.
I'm going to be playing it before Halloween with a group of friends, and we're going to be dressed in period accurate wear
See?
because we are nerds, and we're going to have us like a little dinner party where we try to like find the mysteries.
Yeah.
I'm like obsessed though, and I'm making an outfit for the game.
Because that is a great segue into the fact that you're not just a content creator in your own right, as well as making content for Queen Games. You were also a pretty well-known cosplayer and probably magician of all thing crafts. I recently
Love
saw that
creating.
you bought a bunch of fabric just recently and
Yeah.
posted, and it was like, I'm like, look, anytime you post something, I'm like, I show it to my wife. Rachel just got a whole bunch of fabric. Look at this. This is great. Because it's hard to find since Joanne's closed and
Hey,
Michael's is letting us down. And
it has been really, really difficult. Joanne's closing has been harder on me than I thought it would be. I thought I was prepared. I did stockpile a ton. I have a room full of bolts of fabric. Like I went prepper. Like the world is ending. We're not gonna have Joanne's anymore. Buy all the threads that you can. So I bought a bunch, and then I get these crazy ideas where I'm like, I have 2 weeks to make this costume based off this game, and I wish I could run into Joanne's and just touch the fabric like I used to do. Ordering online is not the same.
I sit next to my wife and see her struggle with all that. So how long have you been cosplaying? Because you were a cosplayer first.
Yes. So cosplaying was sort of the segue into gaming for me. I've been cosplaying about 12 years,
12
but I
years.
was
Well,
super into costumes before
yeah,
that. Like I
sure.
was that girl that took Halloween or like any kind of costume party way too seriously.
And it didn't matter how cold it was outside. You
I
were not wearing a
did not care.
jacket to,
Did not care. I'm not going to cover up what I made.
yeah.
I worked on this
Right.
costume. They're all going to see
Exactly.
it. I'm going as many places as possible.
What was your first costume like that you made from
Poison
scratch?
Ivy.
Poison Ivy. Yeah. Do
Yeah,
you still have it?
I do. She's not doing great. It's not something I would wear without repairing, but I do have it. I actually saw it a little bit ago. I've got a costume rack. I have several costume racks. I also built a closet for some of my cosplays here in my basement, but I have her hanging over in my cosplay room.
Have you thought about is having not seen the costume, would it be possible to shadow box it? Like retire
Yeah,
it from your
yeah,
collection and shadow
yeah.
box it and put a yeah.
I've thought about that. I've thought about that.
So my wife does a lot of shadow boxing of board games, right? If we play a legacy game, right? Because you can never play it again unless you have to buy a new copy. We'll shadow box our legacy games, or we will shadow box whenever you upgrade games, right? So you buy a game and then you upgrade the components later, and then all of a sudden you've got these shadow boxes of wooden meeples all on your walls.
I've been trying to think of like what to do with it because I'm not going to throw it away, but I also don't want
Right.
it to just hang here and fall apart. It needs a home, and I would like to
Yeah.
display it. Like it was the first one I ever made. It's special. It
Exactly.
was it was my introduction into like this crazy obsession that I like that same day. I was like, this is it. I am hooked. I'm gonna do this forever.
Who taught you to sew?
I have been sewing my whole life. My mom can sew, my grandma can sew. I mean, we all just kind of did it. As far as teaching me, YouTube is my friend. YouTube has been a mentor for me.
And so you work with because you had a suit that you were working on prior to Origins this year. I don't believe that you wore. I don't know the character's name, but you had a lot of armor. Did
My
you
battle
use War?
sister.
Yeah,
I
did you
did use
use War
Warbler.
for that? Yep.
I did. I used Warbler. I used foam. It was like a really crazy amount of stuff I used because I was rushing. I should have started way earlier, but I procrastinated. I got nervous, but I work good under pressure. So I was like, 1 month to go, let's build an entire battle sister. And I'm actually really big into Warhammer, which is like a random thing that happened because of going to these conventions. We were across from the Games Workshop guys, and I was like, I like those outfits. And then
Okay.
I was gifted a starter set for Warhammer. And then I was like, well, I'm obsessed. It's arts and
Got it.
crafts and a game. I get to put these
Sure.
little people together and then I paint them. Like, how could you not want to do that? I've got some Battletech mechs right here on my desk that I've been working on. Like, I'm so into the stuff I can touch, I can play with it. It's not just a video game, it's not just a card game. I want to play games that are more tactile and interactive. So
Sure.
I got into Warhammer and I decided I was obsessed. And they're really cool because there's a whole lot of lore behind it, but they wear white and it's like lined in red. And that stands for the shroud that they put over their saint when she passed. And it has like an imprint of her on it. So it's really
Okay.
cool and kind of creepy. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I'm
they
thinking
just
about the
shoot people.
Knights Templar, where their robes were white with the red cross on the front. So it's
And
like,
I think that connection kind of like did it for me because they did look very knightly instead of just big and bulky and like bloody or dirty. You know, some of them are like scorched with fire
sure.
because the flamers and stuff. This
Right.
was very like medieval knight esque. It did give me those vibes, and how can you not like that?
Right. So at what point did you, and I'd asked this question last week. So I'm really interested in at what point did you, in your mind, in your personal identity, you were like, I'm not just a cosplayer, I'm also a content creator. Or did so which came not first?
I'd say that content creating came first because I was
Yeah.
doing it with cosplay.
Okay.
And then I kind of just transitioned and I'm doing like this weird middle ground where I'm standing on the fence and I'm doing both at the moment. I would say I do more cosplay content than I would like. I would like to transition and do more board game, but it's hard to do when you're not actively playing with people. And a lot of times if I'm playing, like I'm playing out with people that may not want to be videoed and that kind of thing.
Sure. Sure.
I
Yeah.
need better
I can.
friends.
Our home is always open. You are always welcome to come spend a weekend and we'll play games and you can make as much content as you want.
We need to get together, even if it's just at a convention or something, and play some games because I'm dying to play with people who are down for that.
Right. But to be fair though, at conventions you're quite busy,
Yes, yes.
you
I
know?
wear so many hats at conventions. I'm doing lots of things. I'm trying to be involved with different groups and companies and help out everybody and see everyone, and it is pretty hectic.
Yeah. So what role do you see content creation play both in your personal life and what role do you see content creators, this community in the gaming industry as a whole? Like, how do you see that? Yeah. And you could tackle those either way.
Content creation is so important to the gaming industry.
Yeah.
This is something that I'm very passionate about. It is how people know what they want. It is usually the first look people have at a game. It is the first time they hear of a game or a type of game. And being a content creator is important because you are getting the word out about a product. And it's really cool to see all the communication that goes on with that. You know, if you get on Instagram and you see an awesome board game picture, you go to the comments and you read 100 comments like what is this and how does this work? And it's really cool to see how it is bringing the community together. I definitely feel like it has brought me closer with people. I have so many friends that are content creators in the board gaming community
Yeah.
that like I couldn't have imagined this would happen. I had no idea that the
Right.
world I was even jumping into. I was just like, I'm going to post about what I love, which is board gaming. And then I'm following board gaming accounts and they're following me back. And now we're talking to each other and now I'm on a podcast. And like it's really interesting to see how that works. Content creation not only like tells people what they want to buy, but it tells people like what is good out there. You're getting reviews and people are getting sent review copies and you're going to want to listen to what they have to say. You're getting to hear opinions on it and not just advertisements. I want to hear an actual opinion, not just an advertisement.
That personal opinion, I think, and it sounds like what you're saying, I certainly agree. If it is, this is what I think. Content creation is set apart from just advertising because of that. It's that personal opinion, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
not
scroll past
just
advertisements all day long, but if Grant Lyons makes a YouTube short saying this game is good, I'm probably going to buy it.
right, right. How much of that though do you attribute to like your trust in that, like Grant for sure, but any content creator, right? Like there's a relationship, even if it's not a face-to-face relationship with these content creators, right?
There's definitely a relationship there. I do feel like I know a lot about them because of how much they're posting. And like obviously it's interesting to see who and whose gaming interests align with mine. Like what do we have in common? What do we not have in common? What do they like that I don't like? What if something doesn't work out for me?
Right.
Then maybe I
Right.
won't buy every game they recommend going forward.
So you made the comment that you wanted to transition more into content creation for games and less cosplay. Not that you're going to stop cosplaying, but content creation. But that games aren't hitting your table. Do you feel for you that you have to play a game in order to create content for it?
Prefer to.
Okay.
I don't feel like I have to. Like even on I have a YouTube channel. I do have like an unboxing video because I was super super excited to get a game. So I opened it and I didn't play it in that video. But I do think that videos where the game is being played or at
Yeah.
least like gone through get
Yeah.
better views.
I guess that's true. There's certainly some truth to that. I know sometimes like I can't, although I think maybe once or twice I've staged a photo, right? And kind of
Feel
whatnot.
fake doing that. Like I don't want to be that person who just like sets things up for a photo. I'm not gonna say I haven't done it because that's my job sometimes, but
Exactly.
but I definitely like to take more candid shots. I would love to walk around and get some shots of people actually enjoying a game.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to work more on video. I make videos. I don't like the way they look. I'm like, this is terrible.
Video editing is something I didn't expect to be so hard.
Right? Who are you
I
telling?
can do it, but it's not pretty.
It's a lot of work. The editing will take longer than it'll take for you and I to have this conversation. That's crazy. So you're going to have to, whether your friends want to or not, you're going to have to create some content and post when you play Mother of Frankenstein.
Yes, Mother of Frankenstein.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
a really
You're
cool
going to
game
have to.
where like Mary Shelley has left documents and a bunch of stuff to her son on her
Okay.
deathbed. So she passes away and then he has to figure out what the big secret is. And so
That's
I am
cool.
pumped and I have been assembling a party and we have like an investigator. I'm the creator. We have an investigator. I've got an attorney. I have like somebody who does science stuff for a living. Like I've been like very selective in who I've picked out of my friend group, so that way I can have opinions from
That's
like
cool.
every side.
Yeah.
I get one shot at
Yeah.
this. I can only do it the once.
That's true. That is
And
true. I love it.
that's the downfall to that kind of game. So I'm not gonna put a bunch of losers in the house with me. We're gonna do it right.
I love that. It's a dream of mine. My favorite game everyone knows is Obsession by Dan Halligan. And I really would love to host a night where we play Obsession and we all dress in a Victorian era clothing.
I'm ready.
Well,
I
then there
have
you go.
several Victorian outfits depending on
Yeah.
how fancy we want to get.
Well, the beauty of Obsession, if you were to do that, is you could dress fancy like you're in the upper house and you're the family, or you could dress as one of the servants because there is that upstairs, downstairs, kind of a Downton Abbey, right? Because you have the servants and the workers. So you could go either way, right? I would probably dress as the cook because that's just my favorite. I would never be a lord, okay? If I were born in Victorian England, I would be a servant. I would have been born into service.
I am a princess. I want ball gowns.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Do you have a favorite platform that you like to post your content on?
Instagram. I'm so basic. Instagram's my favorite. I love it because like it's simple. I feel like Facebook is for businesses and old people.
Okay.
Instagram is clips of a picture or really short videos, and I like that.
Okay.
And YouTube is hard.
YouTube is, having been on YouTube for a year now, is getting easier. It's getting easier. And you can do the shorts,
Yeah, I like the
you know?
shorts. I like the shorts a lot, and
You
that's
could
what I
do that.
usually find myself doing is like scrolling the shorts, and it's getting better. Every time I upload a video, it's a little bit smoother, but it still feels so awkward to like converse with myself and then post it for people to see.
Who are you
It's so
talking
weird.
to? I mean, right? This is part of the reason why I've got a podcast because I got to talk to somebody. It is so weird just talking to the camera.
I had to like deal with, I guess it was imposter syndrome, is what I was told, where I was like,
Sure.
it's just so awkward to tell people what I do. Like, they're not going to believe me. You make videos about playing a board game? And I'm like,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes, I do. I do
Yeah.
this, I do that. You know, I'm working for this company, I'm working with this company, I'm doing these things with these amazing designers, these amazing content creators. And then they're like, oh. So, like, I am here and I do deserve a place at the table, but it took me a long time to be able to say that.
Right. So, what advice do you have for someone who, they're a gamer and they don't think of themselves as content creators, but they're thinking about becoming more intentional? And I really think that's what separates when I say a content creator, I think it's the intentionality. However, though, there is kind of that next step. Do you have any advice for someone who's thinking about maybe I want to be more intentional and become a content creator and post with
Take the
more
step,
regularity? Take the
do it,
step.
take the step, put yourself out there.
Yeah.
It's vulnerable feeling and kind of uncomfortable, but once you do it, you've done it and it won't get worse. The first time's the hardest. It's weird, but just put yourself out there, make
Yeah.
connections, talk to people, post what you want to post, get all your sharing and stuff out there, share content from other creators, do a
Yes.
collaboration. If you've got a
Yes.
friend that's a content creator, collaborate. If you don't, friend me. Like, we'll get together and do something. Getting out there and being part of the community is
Yeah.
the best thing you can do. Meet other people who can help you, and you can feed off of what they're doing, and they can feed off of what you're doing, and just share the experiences and the love of board gaming.
Yeah. And we're not talking about getting a hotel and going to a convention like Origins or Gen Con or Geekway or Essen or UKGE and spending all your money. I mean, we're talking about you could do this right here through the internet. That's what the
Yeah,
social
gaming
media is for.
conventions
Yeah.
can be very expensive. If you're wanting to go, a good way to do that is to volunteer with a company that is going to be giving out hotel rooms and passes, and
Yeah.
you can try to get in with a company and not spend $500 on a hotel room. I mean,
Mm.
I don't know if you've tried to book something for Gen Con, but whew, it's pricey. For Origins, I actually rented an apartment that was directly above the Barley's.
Yes.
So I rented an entire apartment
Nice.
and it was fabulous. Much more comfortable than rooming with as many people as we can fit in there. Usually we have a teeny tiny hotel room and as many people that are going with the company as possible get shoved in there. And I had a whole apartment to do whatever I wanted with and lay out my costume pieces, make food. But I just want to go like put my feet up. And I don't want to inconvenience my friends, the people that are going there with the same company.
Right.
I don't want to be in their way, but I
Yeah.
want to be able to string my stuff out. I had my Battle Sister cosplay with me, and I was like, this takes up a lot of space. I want to be able to just lay around and breathe. I want to sit at the table and have a meal. I love to cook. Cooking is like a really big passion of mine. So I had a whole kitchen there. I was able to cook. I got some food at the North Market and brought it back and ate there. I had a
Excellent.
friend over, but not cost effective if you're trying to get into gaming. Like for the first bit, like
Not
go
at
with a
all.
company. Go with a
Yeah.
company or split a room with your friend.
Or go to a smaller
Yes.
regional that's something closer to you. I'm thinking Tantrum Con is in North
Yeah.
Carolina. Tennessee Game Days is in Nashville. There's what is it? The Great Prairie Game Festival. But it's in
Something
Lincoln,
like that.
Nebraska, so it's,
Okay.
there are some smaller regional.
I would never miss CharCon in Charleston, West Virginia.
Oh,
It's
see.
small, but it is one of the best gaming conventions I have ever been to. I'm also on staff for it.
Well, la ti
So
da.
I do their panels and their cosplay contests and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I love it. It's just it's
Yeah.
home. It's small and it's actually like in like a museum, a planetarium that we share a movie on, and it's really cool.
That is cool. So that's in Charleston.
Yes,
Okay. I might have to check that out.
you
We may have to
absolutely
go.
should. It's a
We may
lot of
have to
fun.
go. Yeah. That sounds cool.
We always have some kind of like live entertainment. Like this year, we watched Codenames live, performed
Okay.
live on our
Cool.
stage, and Grant
Cool.
Lyons did a comedy bit there.
As
So
he
it was,
is wont to do.
yeah, it was so much fun. And I was thinking, like, as a fan of his, I've seen like probably every video he's ever posted.
Wow.
It was completely new content. I was like, oh, I'd never watched his like shows. I've just seen
Yeah.
clips.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Well, be on the lookout because in a few weeks he's coming on as part of this content creator series.
What? Bonded. I feel like we're friends now. So, because there's not a whole lot else to do in Charleston. So if you're at CharCon, you come to CharCon After Dark, which is a karaoke party, and we all had a really good time. It is always so bad that it's good.
So tell me about because I wanted to ask you this for a couple months now. So at Origins, you're working in an official capacity as your community special social media specialist role at Queen Games. You're gonna work the vendor hall, and you've got all these duties at Origins, and then on top of it, you're also you have to devote time for cosplay because you've got, like you said, you had an apartment, so you had to spread it all out. And I know it didn't take 5 minutes to put all that on. And you
No,
probably had it. I mean, I'm
I
assuming
had
you had a
help
friend
getting
that
it.
helped you. Yep.
Yeah, I had help. Actually, I didn't have my blaster completely like assembled when I got there. So they were like, I had two people gluing my pack on me as we were walking into the convention to like line up for the cosplay contest. They're like gluing my stuff together, and we actually like wrapped gauze from the emergency medical kit that we found in the bathroom of the Airbnb to hold my blaster's hose on because like
Okay.
my epoxy wasn't strong enough and it wasn't
Mm,
gluing. But yeah, I definitely had help, and it took like an hour, maybe 2 hours to get dressed. I mean, it was a lot because I had to do makeup and a wig, and then the undersuit, and then the robes and the armor. They were like putting pieces on me that were falling off as I was getting in line for the costume contest. It was interesting. I'm very happy with the outcome. I actually won second place
excellent.
for like the whole of Origins. I don't want to sound like a sore loser, but I feel like if my stuff had been finished on time, maybe I could have won. We were
Yeah.
finishing it as we were walking in.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson. I've already started on next year's. I'm already
Good.
already
Good.
a step ahead of myself. I won't start in May. I'll do it now.
The other thing too, we should talk about this. I think this is important. I think this is an important. I think it's an important issue and probably yet another one of your passions. But you do some considerable charity work connected with your cosplay, right? Tell me a little bit
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. So that's something I've really been invested in lately. Every week, I spend a couple hours at the Ronald McDonald House here and the local children's hospital. I do a lot of crowd events where we do like make a wish stuff. I just did Path to a Cure, which is a cancer fundraiser. I do a lot of
Okay.
different things, and I take a different costume. Sometimes it's Star Wars character, sometimes it's a princess, sometimes it's a comic book character. The princess stuff is the most popular. This coming week, I'll actually be in a Halloween parade and I'm probably going to be a princess because that's what the kids want. But
Yes.
I like being out there and getting to see the community. I'm going to be riding on a float with a local dance school that's asked me to help with them. So like I'll watch the little ones that can't march, and then I'll be there and like pass out candy and do that kind of thing. But it's fun to just get to be part of the community and make all the kids happy.
Yeah.
I push a hospitality cart at the hospital where I'm giving out books and crayons and teddy bears, snacks and juice boxes and that kind of thing. It's a lot of fun to just be there and make a kid smile when they need it the most, or be able to hand a parent a snack when who knows the last time they've left that room.
Right, right. We can't forget about the parents too,
Yeah,
right?
sure that we're giving stuff to siblings and parents and just anybody that's around, because that's a hard time for the entire family, especially when I'm volunteering at the Ronald McDonald House. A lot of times I am just cleaning or I am cooking and I'm assembling like welcome baskets. We do like a welcome bag where we put all kinds of toiletries and essentials and little activities and just things to like let them know we're thinking of them and we're here for
Yeah.
them during their stay. Because if they're there for an extended period of time away from home and they probably didn't plan it. It's probably
Yep.
been an emergency situation and they
Yeah.
don't have a toothbrush. They don't have deodorant. You know, we've got vouchers and stuff to help them get changes of clothes. We've got all kinds of options for like helping with transportation and that kind of thing. I love being able to cook there. They have 4 kitchens at the Huntington Ronald McDonald House.
Wow.
So it's cool to be able to like prep food and stuff and help them out and just make sure like even if they're just like grabbing a bagel on their way back to the hospital, they're able to have that so they can go be with their family.
How long have you been working with Ronald McDonald House?
A little over a year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a project that's very near and dear to my heart. I remember like growing up, we went and visited a family. It was like my mom's college best friend had a baby. Like they weren't in college anymore, but they're my mom's best friend from college. She had a baby, and he was born with a lot of health issues. And they ended up staying at the Ronald McDonald House at the Cincinnati Children's Hospital. And I was like,
Okay.
McDonald's? Why are we going to McDonald's in Cincinnati? You know, I was a child at the time, and
Right.
being knowing what they did for that family, you know,
Yeah.
knowing that they gave them a safe place to stay without charging them an exuberant amount of money. They gave them a place where they could lay their head down. It was clean. They were fed. They made sure that they had everything to be comfortable because they couldn't think about themselves at that point. They had a baby that was, you know, extremely, extremely in need of medical care. That was their priority. They couldn't think about themselves. So having ready made food, you know, there, just ready to go and a nice place to sleep if you ever get the chance, it meant a lot to them. And seeing that at that young age, I'm not even sure how old I was. I was probably still in elementary school, probably like 4th grade. Seeing that and then seeing throughout the rest of my life how much good they've done in this community really made me want to help them out.
Yeah. Where can, for our listeners, where can they contribute, donate, whatever? Do you have like a do you have a website, phone
Well,
number, or anything that you use?
if you want to donate directly to the Ronald McDonald House, it's the Ronald McDonald House Charities.com. I do a lot with Starlight Foundation as well. So Starlight Foundation, they do the donating for like all the children's hospitals, but they actually
Okay.
are game oriented. So they will donate games or gaming
Okay.
devices and that kind of thing. I'm getting ready to post a program where the Ghostbusters group I'm in is running a thing with Starlight, and we're going to be raising money for their hospitals, and I'm pretty excited about that.
So Rachel's going to give me all the links. We'll put everything in the comments section for you guys when you're listening, you'll see that there, and we'll get that to you so you guys can make contributions. So I really love your Ghostbusters group. Katie and we decorate our house for Halloween. It's very much Ghostbusters themed. She and I dress as Ghostbusters, although costumes are our
Always.
costumes are nothing like yours. But we got two full life skeletons that we put up in the yard and dress them as the other two Ghostbusters. We just recently added 2 more, and we dress one as Louis Tully and Dana Barrett. So you got the
That's
gatekeeper and the
awesome.
keymaster, and they're sitting on a bench in front of the house, and we've got a ghost, and they got the little orange lights. Because yeah,
My water bottle here has slime hanging on it.
I love that. I
I'm
love that.
just it's one of my favorite movies or movie franchises out there.
Yep.
It's I don't know why it has its hold on me, but it does. And dressing up like a Ghostbuster, we've done so much fundraising and so much good, and so many people like it. Kids love it, adults love it. It
Yeah,
came out in the 80s, but they're still coming out with movies now.
exactly.
It's one of those things where every generation can appreciate it. And not everybody feels that way about some of my costumes. They're like, we don't know what that is, but
Yeah,
everyone recognizes a Ghostbuster.
everybody knows Ghostbusters. What do you, to your mind, what do you see that the community of content creators, gamers, the gamer industry, just overall, what do you see that we really do well? That makes you proud to be a part of
Hmm,
this community?
what we do well. Having the community is probably the best thing that we do, because in cosplay it's not like that in my experience. So I have met tons and tons of content creators from across both sides of the board here. And in the board gaming community, they're kind, they're nice, they're normal people.
Yeah.
They're willing to talk to you about stuff. Everybody's super down to earth. Everybody is ready to play a game, ready to make a video, ready to snap a picture. Nobody acts like they're better than anyone else. And in cosplay, it's a competition, constantly a
Okay.
competition. And I feel like with board gaming, the only competition is on the table and we leave it there.
Sure.
So that's the way I like it. It's much more simple. The social aspect is better because even if it's a competitive game, then the game's over and we can
Sure.
all just talk about it
Right.
and be friends.
Right. Right.
I've got so many friends that do content creation now, and I think that it's really, we're friendlier. I don't know what I was expecting, but I've gone to all different types of conventions and all different types of hobbies and stuff. But the board game content creators are just so kind and welcoming, and it's not a scary thing to get into.
See that, guys? We're kind. If we just keep being kind, that's what it's all about.
It's there's groups for everything, but nobody is being pushed out. There's a space for everyone, and I really, really like that.
Yeah. What is one thing that the community needs to work on, to your mind? Where's something where we do fall short and could do better?
I don't love where only the hottest, newest games get the most attention. I think, and that's not even the best answer to this, but that's just the first thing that came to mind.
I
I
think you're
feel
talking
like,
about the cult of the new, right?
yes, just because it's new doesn't mean it's great. And there's always this rush, this pressure to get your content of the newest game out
Right.
first, as soon as
Right.
possible. And I feel like there's almost like this weight of a deadline. Like if 10 other content creators have this game on their channel first, why post mine?
Mm,
So there's always this
sure.
pressure to get it out there, and I feel like there shouldn't be. I feel like older games, smaller publishers, that kind of thing, are still just as worth posting about.
Hmm.
But there's this weird pressure of like only posting what's new, what's hot, what's trending, and I feel like we should be pushing all the gaming content all the time.
There's so many games.
That's why there's so many creators.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that there is room and there is space for everyone.
Everyone.
I think I have this conversation all the time, right? Wherever we go, we're gamers. There's a board game for you. Doesn't
Yes.
matter who you are at all. I was in Anaheim, California at the end of August for a Society of American Archivists convention because I'm an archivist. So I was at a work convention and I mentioned that I had a board game podcast. And so someone walked up to me and was like, can you tell me a little bit more? And I said the same thing. I was like, no matter who you are, there's a board game for you. And I was like, tell me, where do you work? So this individual is the senior archivist for the San Diego Zoo.
Okay.
Yeah. So she manages all of the records for the zoo in San Diego. And I'm like, let me tell you about this game called Arc Nova. And
Yep.
I started to, when I started talking about, appeal, whenever you play an animal and it generates appeal. And at the end of the round, that appeal determines how much money you generate. And there's conservation efforts. And I'm explaining just kind of how the scoring works in that game. Her eyes lit up and she was like, this is a real thing. And I'm like, Yes, ma'am, there
Yes.
is. And there it is. You check it out. I talk more about board games when I'm at an archives conference than I talk about archives. I'm just saying, right? Because we need
That's so
more
true.
gamers because there's so many games that they need to be played.
There's so many really cool themes.
Yes,
And I think a theme is a good way to get your toes into the community.
absolutely.
So if you're into quilting, there's a quilt themed game. Now you like
Yep,
board games and you're going to
yep.
play all the other themed games. And
There it
it just
is. Yeah.
it gets you in.
I love that you brought up quilting, and I'm pretty sure the game you're thinking of is a polyomino tile laying game.
Did you know?
So I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see, it's all full circle, guys, right? It's like Cicero said, all the humanities are inherently linked as if by a common bond. It's all full circle.
It's board
All full
games.
circle. That's
The
it.
bond is board games.
Board games are the connections, right? And the conversations is like the glue that holds the community together or something like that.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to
Absolutely.
work on that. I'm working on that analogy. Yeah, something I'm toying with. I don't like the way that came out, but y'all know what I'm talking
There's
about.
potential there. There's potential
Yeah,
there.
y'all
Some
know
of
y'all know what's
my
going on.
greatest relationships have been built on board gaming. Some of my best
Absolutely.
friends, like most of my friends actually are into board gaming, even if it's just a little bit because I force them. But some of my absolute best friends I've met through being in this community, and I'm so thankful that I got to meet everybody and become what we are.
Yeah. I would never have met you if it weren't for gaming. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, you know.
yeah.
I will say on a personal note, I'd love to see more board game content on your page, all your social media. Your cosplay is
That's a big
amazing, but
personal goal. I'm
I
definitely going
know.
to be pushing more. And I
Yeah.
think I want to do more collaboration of like dressing up with the game because I'm doing that with my Halloween one. So I was like, why don't we do
Mhm.
that? I'm loving it so much. Why don't I do it more often?
Sure. Yep. I would love to collaborate with you on that. Just note that as someone who doesn't cosplay, it's not going to look terrific, but that's okay. Yeah. I mean, we dabble a little bit. One of the things that my wife and I do at Christmas time when we go to see my in-laws and they're in Ohio, there's I don't know what it's called, but there's a Renaissance Festival in Ohio, and it's in December, so it's like a Christmas. So
Is it
she's
like the Dickens themed stuff?
some of it is.
Okay. Okay.
So she's working on both of our costumes right now.
Like stays or okay.
And I'm like, yeah. So she's working on that so that we'll be dressed appropriately for the Renaissance Festival at Christmas
You got
time.
to dress
So
up if you're going.
you do. And it's like, okay, yeah. Like Renaissance clothing, Renaissance costumes really lends itself to the wintertime because there's a lot of layers and they're heavy and
Absolutely.
there's some cool stuff out there.
I've got a quilted petticoat that I only wear for like outdoor
Ooh,
winter events because it
nice.
looks like my regular gown on the outside because my skirt is still typical cotton, but underneath it is a thick quilt all the way around. So like I'm
But
warm.
there's a lot of great opportunities to cosplay a for a board game that you're about to play, right? I mean, within reason. I'm certainly not going to, get a bunch of warp and make this huge armor for like Nemesis on Halloween and we're going to play Nemesis cuz that would just be uncomfortable cuz you have to sit down.
But
You know
cool
all about
content.
that. Sure. But you understand you've got to be practical because you want me to sit and play. Like, I don't think that costume that you wore for Origins, you could have sat down and played a board game in that.
Not well.
Sure.
So
Right.
I actually had an
So,
issue because I needed to sit. I had been standing for 4 hours.
my goodness.
They did not have a place for any of us to sit or anything, so we had to stand in lines and then move to another place and stand in more lines.
Wow.
And I almost passed out towards the end. It was just like I'm gonna sit, but I was worried
Wow.
about bending my legs because I made the legs kind of flexible and I didn't want to like chip paint or anything. And I was like, I'm up on these gigantic shoes. I had like little stilts on. I was like, I just can't do
Ooh,
this. But I
my
wanted to be
gosh.
tall, so
That's crazy. Yeah. But there's a lot of ways to marry those two hobbies together. I can absolutely see that. Like I said, I still want to do the period piece for Obsession. I just think that would be a lot of fun. There's a couple others I think that would be neat to do, right? Yeah. So, anything else on your mind that you want to share about this beautiful community that we're a part of?
I'm just so happy to have this opportunity. You know, I'm thankful to be in this beautiful community. I'm
Yeah.
thankful that people are listening to me and watching me and just putting up with my shenanigans for the most part. It's wild to feel so welcome and so included in something that I feel like I'm sort of new to. You know, it's been a couple years, but I just jumped in and didn't know what I was doing, and everybody had their arms open and caught me. It was interesting to see how it went, and like now I'm on a podcast.
Well, thank you. I don't know that
So
this podcast is as popular as that, but thank you for the accolades.
it's just
I'm
really
trying to
cool
get
to
more
see.
listeners, though.
It's really cool to see how this works and like
Yeah.
learn more about all of these people and see how they got into it. So the series you're working on right now, I'm
Yep.
pumped for. I
Yeah.
can't wait to hear everybody else's experiences.
I mean, I have truly curated a diverse group of individuals across all the spectrums and across the world. I will have guests on all over the US. I've got a guest from the UK, the Netherlands, Germany, Australia. I'm really excited. So be on the
That's
lookout
awesome.
for that. Yeah, just trying to curate different sexualities and races and just getting everyone included, right? I really do believe that our strength is in our diversity. And if we're going to talk about unity, it has to start with diversity. We have to embrace our diversity because if you can't have unity, you cannot have unity, PJ. You cannot have unity without diversity, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what makes us stronger.
Absolutely.
So, where can people find you? Either you and your cosplay, or your YouTube, or you in an official capacity with Queen Games. Where do people find you?
Okay, so if you're looking for me on like Instagram or Facebook at Miss Kitty Cosplay, my actual name is Rachel Mullen, but Miss Kitty Cosplay is the easiest way to find me. On YouTube, my channel name is Miss Kitty's Dice and Disguise Discussion. So I talk about my costuming and dice related things for the gaming. And if you're looking for me with Queen Games, if you've got anything social content related that you want to get reshared, or if you want to collaborate with something or get on our press list, that would be r.mullen at queen-games.com. I spelled that out with my finger like I'm writing it.
It'll be down below. She'll
Yeah,
get
yeah, we can
everything
link it
squared
all.
away
We'll
for her.
link it all.
Yeah, it'll
But
be
yeah,
there, guys.
it's just
Yep.
such an honor to be here. This is
Thank you.
exciting. I just got off the 24-hour game jam and I feel like my brain is mush. I wasn't up for 24 hours, but I spent a lot of time thinking about a game, and that just it was such a fun exercise, but it was
Yeah,
exercise. It was different. You know, I've been
sure.
trying to dabble in board game creation. I want to be a designer as well. I've got these awesome
Okay.
ideas. Got to figure out how to put them out there and get
Yep.
them onto a table. What better way to do that than a board game jam? Pam Walls hosted one, and I was like, this sounds like a great idea. It was hard, but it was cool. But it was like, it was hard.
Sure.
Having parameters to like work around was something I've never worked with before. Usually it's just like I come up with whatever I want to. And when it's not cool, it's not cool. If it's cool, it's fine. But having set parameters changed it. And I think I liked it because it gave me a more structured challenge.
Yep. I
And
think that's
having
the
a
beauty of this.
timeline, yeah,
Yeah,
having a timeline really put pressure on it to where I
sure.
had I had to come up with something. I couldn't think about it for a week. There was no just coming back to it in a couple days. It was that's your way of doing it. Like there's no other way around it. You got to do it.
Yep. That's fantastic. I think it's that structure. I think we all need that structure, some of us more than others, and that structure helps out. I think it's part of the appeal of board gaming and why we're passionate about this shared experience on our tables is that structure there. Well, Rachel, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I am just oh my gosh, this is a great second episode of this series.
And
We got a
I'll
lot in
think about
store.
more things and I'll come back.
Yes. No,
I'll think of more stuff.
definitely come back. As you design more games, we'll have you on in a designer capacity. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've got a couple designs that I'm ready to pitch to publishers. Hopefully that won't be long.
Yeah. Who knows? There might be a R. Mullen Games one day, and you'll be running your own thing, and you'll be all independent
You
and
never know what's going to
taking over the
happen. Things
world.
change day by
It's
day
true.
in this industry.
It is true. Yep. Well, guys, thank you for listening. Please, as always, most humbly like and subscribe to the channel. You can find us on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok. Just launched a TikTok. Went ahead and dove into TikTok. Eliminate all the cool things at Meeple to Meeple. And as always, be kind to one another. And let's play more games.